This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day, and that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Employee Appreciation Day is March 7th, and a Starbucks card is the perfect way to say, thanks for all you do. Have a smaller team? You can send up to 10 e-gifts in one transaction from the Starbucks app or online at starbucks.com/gift. Or you can also send physical or digital cards in bulk at starbuckscardb2b.com. No matter your team's size or location, Starbucks has got you covered.
For me, and I was told this a long time ago, you always win with people. You want to be with great people. You want to be supported by people who have your back. I think that's what Coach Portal is. I think that's what we are. And we say it all the time, like Coach Portal was built by coaches for coaches. And we're trying to be the support system that the coaching market has needed. We're trying to be the support system that generally helps. We want to be organic in our support, in our consulting, and our personalized services, because we know that there's coaches out there who need jobs, want jobs, deserve jobs, and we're trying to provide that for them as best as possible.
The coaching job market is evolving. Athletic directors and hiring coaches need better ways to find the right candidates, and coaches need to position themselves before jobs even open. That's where Coach Portal comes in. Today, we're joined by Aaron Young, co-founder of Coach Portal. Aaron has spent nearly a decade coaching at the Division I and III levels, giving him firsthand insight into what it takes to navigate this industry. But he also understands the hiring side, how programs search for candidates, and what really drives decision-making in coaching hires. In this episode, we'll take you inside the hiring process from an athletic director's perspective, break down the most common mistakes coaches make in their job search, and explore the next evolution of Coach Portal's technology. If you're a coach who wants to take control of your career, this is a must-listen conversation for you.
Wow, this house is cute. But can I really get in the game in this economy? I do have savings, and I am responsible-ish. I should bury it. I'm being wild. But what if I'm not being wild, though? Could I actually score a...
Kick off your home buying journey with Zillow's new buyability tool. It makes it easy to find out what you can afford, so you can get off the bench and onto the playing field with confidence. Check your buyability only on Zillow.
Well, Aaron, it's great to have you here. You're a guy who has spent a lot of time coaching, have transitioned a little bit still in the coaching world, obviously with Coach Portal, but also training quarterbacks. So first of all, welcome to the podcast and thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, I've spent years listening to everything you've done, and I'm a big fan, and a lot of football knowledge that I've absorbed from your podcast. So I'm glad to be on.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, let's talk a little bit about what got you here, a little bit about your journey and what brought you to this point where you're doing some very cool things to help coaches with Coach Portal.
Yeah, from the beginning, I mean, a young age, I knew that I wanted to coach. I had a lot of really good coaches growing up, whether it be in high school, college, guys that poured into me, guys that poured into my teammates, guys that really showed us how to be really good coaches. And I knew that was what I wanted to be, and I wanted to do that. So kind of went into the playing experience from that into a graduate assistant role full time. And it was, I was very fortunate to play for the coach that I ended up working for. So it was awesome to be that kind of very easy transition for me. I mean, it was awesome to go from that to now where I am today, from growing in my coaching career to growing in the business side of things from a training standpoint, and taking those levels of football, playing, coaching, and trying to give it to high school kids, every single day, and trying to really have them equipped to go into the college ranks of being a college athlete. So, you'd be surprised how many things people don't know that a lot of coaches and former players can give these young kids, whether it be high school seniors or eighth graders or fifth graders. It doesn't matter. Like, it's the discipline, the habits that you're trying to build with them.
Yeah. And looking at the other side of what you're doing now with Coach Portal, what were the things, I guess, as you went through this process of being a coach, some of your pain points that, eventually you guys get to co-founding Coach Portal, and there's something along the way that brings it there. But a lot of it is always, hey, we need a better solution. So what were some of those things you found that just really working great for you?
Yeah. I mean, for me, Kevin was kind of my consultant on the side, and he had gotten out of business or out of coaching and into the business world, but still was around a lot of coaches and helping them with personal consulting. And he was helping me a lot with every turn in my journey. And for me, I was living it firsthand of what we try and fix with, the system is broken to a certain degree. And I was living that, and I wanted to enhance my career. I wanted to be an expert in all the fields that I needed to be an expert in. I wanted coaches to know that I was there and learning and soaking up as much as I could. And that was where I kind of fell short. I kind of fell short in the aspect of my network base wasn't as wide as maybe some others were. My network base wasn't as, a lot of guys were in my age. So they weren't in hiring positions or hiring power, didn't have hiring authority. So getting the right feel for who can I really genuinely build a relationship with and cultivate a relationship with, while also learning football from them, learning how to be professional, growing in that over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. That was a challenge for me. And it was funny because I had just gotten passed up on a job, and I talked to Kevin. I was like, man, I really wish that I would have known that job was open. I really wish that I would have known that he was looking for my certain position earlier. It'd be fun if there was a portal for coaches like there is for transfer student athletes. So that's where the thought all began, was myself and Kevin talking through this vision of how we can all help coaches expand their networks, increase visibility, and show more people that they are experts at what they do.
What you mentioned there, I think, is so important. It reminds me of one of my former players who went on to coach at. He's at the FBS level now, and was at the FBS level as a GA, and transitioned from the spot he was at into a full-time job there. And then that staff left after his first year, and he was left.
Yeah.
He didn't know where to go. He didn't get brought along. He didn't get retained. And when we talked, he said, I spent so much time on getting myself ready for this full-time position. I haven't been focused on networking at all. And it does take some work, but he also had some good qualifications. He had already been at some other colleges. And I think it's one of those opportunities now with something like Coach Portal that, if you are that guy and you've decided, hey, I'm putting most of my time into building, getting this job I'm in right now and doing well at it, you still need a place to have people know about you. And I think that in a lot of ways solved that problem he was having at the time.
Yeah, it's hard. It's not my personality to be a salesman by any means. And especially like most people, you don't like talking about yourself. So, you get into those interview settings where it's a little bit easier to talk about what you've done, where you've been, what you've learned, but you don't have those opportunities when you're, sitting in the clinics in Nashville or San Antonio or the Glaciers. It's a little bit harder to walk up to somebody who's maybe wearing a logo and a shirt that's a little bit bigger than yours. And it's hard to network, and it's hard to get in those meetings to where you can really show them who you are, what you do for your players. And there's coaches all over the country at every level that just want opportunity to show that they care about getting better as professionals, getting better as coaches, getting better at being caretakers for their players. Like those type of things are what we're trying to provide for coaches using Coach Portal.
When you're looking at things from the athletic director's perspective, thinking like high school, small college, or that head coach looking for assistants. Maybe he's lost one, maybe he's in a new job and he needs people. But I know you guys spent a lot of time looking at it, not just what do coaches need, but what do the guys who are looking for people, those athletic directors, those hiring coaches, what do they need as well? What were some of the, biggest misconceptions when you're thinking about job postings, open jobs, how they actually fill positions?
Yeah, I would say, like most people probably know, job postings go out from the university, human resources. They're posted on numerous job boards. I think there's some validity in some of the smaller schools and how accurate the jobs are. But most of the time, you think you have a connection and you're like, hey, I saw this was open. 90% of the time, you're getting a text or a call back saying, hey, the position's been filled already. The coach is already here. I remember numerous situations with even my own, career where I was excited, and I knew somebody on the staff, and I felt like I had a good chance, and nothing materialized because it was already full. From an athletic director perspective, from a head coach, hiring coach perspective, what we found is that it starts with a clear alignment of what they want and what they need. I think it makes sense to obviously search for coaches who can coach ball and know the schemes and know the ins and outs of the position that they're going to be coaching, obviously. So where I think it comes to a head is where it takes a different skill set to coach football as opposed to recruiting, as opposed to building a program, building the certain aspects of everything that encompasses a program at a Division III, Division II, high school level, small colleges in general. There's a lot more that goes into that. And hiring is one of them. You can have a really, really good football coach who can teach, how to pull, how to backpedal, how to do all those things schematically, but maybe in the role of a head coach, not great at maybe evaluating or getting the right questions asked in an interview to pull out what he needs to pull out to enhance his program. So from our standpoint, we've done all the research and feedback from numerous athletic directors. And I think it's also important to understand that in some cases, there are athletic directors who are quite removed from football side of things. And they are businessmen, businesswomen, CEOs that are running a much larger athletic program as a whole, and maybe don't always know exactly what is needed in the football realm of things or the coaching realm of things. So there's a disconnect between what they're looking at, who they're looking for, the certain specific criteria. With Coach Portal, you can find those things by expanding your reach, expanding your network. Also, in turn, with coaches increasing their visibility, there's obviously the search database feature and the filters that come with that can really narrow down exactly what you're looking for from a hiring standpoint. Whether it be position coach, years of experience, state, if they have an uploaded resume, we're going to roll out the new feature for our video uploads here soon. So being able to really show yourself to the hiring side is what they're really looking for. And it's hard to do that in a 24-hour snippet of an interview. So that's where we're going with it. That's what we want to do. I think that's what we've gotten from the hiring side of what they need us to provide them with.
Now, the transfer portal, if anybody has looked at it, is from a searchable standpoint and getting to know actually who these guys are. It's a mess.
It's a mess.
I mean, I think a lot of players, if they knew what it actually looked like, they'd be a little bit hesitant on, is this really what I want to do? Do I want to give up where I'm at to jump into this huge pool that actually, when you talk to coaches, there's a lot of work they have to do, legwork on their own end to just figure out who these guys are. Because it's not like something you guys have that you have searchable coaching profiles, job movement tracking, all those kinds of things. And you guys understand how these hiring coaches are using this to identify candidates. I know Kevin talked a little bit about this when he joined us on the last episode. Would love for you to dig into that a little bit about what you guys have put together that, Kevin called it the Zillow of coaching, right? That you can decide geographically, this is what I'm looking for, et cetera, et cetera. So we'd love for you to dig into that a little bit more.
Yeah, from the hiring standpoint, obviously you have to know exactly what you want. And the whole point of Coach Portal is to expand the pool of candidates for every hiring coach or AD in every sport. And obviously we're really hammering away on the football side of things right now, but our goal and vision over the next 5 years is to really grow to every sport where every AD in every high school and every small college and every sport can go and look for candidates and expand their pools that they have. And we found that using Coach Portal with all of the activity feeds and search databases can really give you a really good snapshot into any kind of criteria that you want to find from a coach. That is, number one, how is he as a coach? Number two, what does his resume look like? Number three, his endorsements on his profile. Do you know anybody that also endorses him? The quality of his endorsements. Those type of things are things that we want to show. And really from a hiring standpoint, you're not going to be on the website and be found as a hiring AD or head coach. Those type of things are private, but the database now shows, quarterback's coach or the offense coordinator experience, 5+ years. Here's your pool of 25 people, 25 coaches in your respective, blueprint or footprint of searching. Now you can go through those and instead of having 3 candidates who you may know, this gives you a chance to go and get to know 22 more coaches. And I think there's a trust factor of, well, I don't want to hire somebody that I don't know. Well, Coach Portal is creating a fully transparent platform where ADs and hiring coaches have opportunities to expand their reach, coaches have more visibility, and you can have a chance to call a guy up. You like his resume, you like where he's been, you see some connections with who he's been with. And this is an opportunity to clinic and interview and talk to these people and really dive deep into who they are, even before having them on campus for an interview, because you can see everything about them on their profile.
Exclusively on ESPN Plus, UFC 313, Saturday. Reigning light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira defends his title against number one contender Magomed Ankalaev, and an explosive lightweight bout between Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev. UFC 313, Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
From the other standpoint of, I'm looking for a job, I'm seeking a job, everything on your profile is based on where you've been, your current title, years of experience, position, specialties. You have a primary position, you have a secondary position. I need to upload my resume, and we'll kind of touch on that a little bit later about how to just be prepared with those type of things. But everything that you're trying to do is give yourself an opportunity to be found on Coach Portal. And the activity feed is really the place where you can track up-to-date real-time movement. It's all user-based. So as soon as somebody changes their job-seeking status from aggressively looking to moderately looking or back and forth, that shows up on the activity feed, and coaches have obviously more visibility to that, but they can now anticipate jobs and go and try and find connections there. And hopefully their profile is up to date and their resume is prepared properly, that they are being found and being searched and being tracked, that when they want to get a job and they change their status, that coaches and ADs that are hiring are looking for them and finding them in the database.
Yeah, I know that one is that one's probably a little bit touchy for a lot of coaches, but would love to have you guys or have you explain how you've thought this out a little bit in protecting that coach, I guess, from any retribution. I mean, word of mouth is undefeated, but at least from the professional standpoint and people looking in the database, how does that work for a coach who wants to put his status as aggressively looking?
A lot of the times to this point, obviously that's been a pain point. There are coaches who fear the current employer and those consequences of, subliminally looking for a job. I think that it goes to say that you have to be aggressive in this market these days to find a job. Jobs aren't going to just pop up in your lap. I think that there's a proper way to go about that's professional, that also prepares you for those type of things. 100% Coach Portal is about helping coaches. And I think that staffs should be built that way as well. From the top down, hiring coaches should be developing coaches. Head coaches should be developing coordinators to position coaches, and so on and so forth. From that standpoint, as a hiring coach, I'm looking for those guys that are maybe aggressively seeking. Sometimes in our current database, those are more the free agent coaches that are out of jobs at any level of football. There are also guys that are on the database that are moderately looking. I think the activity feed in the database is not just for coaches who are out of jobs. Obviously, we want to help those guys get jobs and enhance their careers as well. But to track and be able to favorite coaches as a coach looking to be hired, that's where the database really is powerful, because you can put yourself on there and show off your capabilities, and you can still be searched and still be found and be favorited and be tracked, so that when you need to move on or you want to transition, everything is out there for hirers to find you. And to really get to the point of that being with your employer and not being 100%, I think that there's a disconnect between, in the communication aspect of, obviously at some point you're going to be leaving that job, the current position that you're in, for whatever reason, whether it's another opportunity, a better opportunity, or something that comes up. I think we think that needs to be, there's transition and communication about that transition and where you stand on the staff. And again, Kevin and I lived this, transitioning from positions to position to position, and wanting to continue to take steps to get back to the positions where I wanted to be, where Kevin wanted to be. You have to be able to have those conversations and transparent conversations with your employer. And the bottom line is, everybody's trying to enhance their careers, go forward, make sure that they are doing everything they can to be visible for jobs they want. And that's where the market is currently broken. and really trying to be transparent and communicative about everything that has to do with finding a new job.
And looking at some of the features you guys are, have put into this and are continuing to build out, the video feature, I think, coaching is very dynamic. Obviously, there's the wins, losses, the players you develop, those things that do look good in black and white, but ultimately both being able to hear and see a little bit of that coach, as well as hear from people who have worked with him or been coached by him, parents who have, had their kids coached by him, et cetera. I think you guys really create something that is so much more dynamic than, what it used to be with just, some place to put your resume out there.
Yeah. It all comes down to verification, right? You're trying to verify that this guy that you're hiring is the right fit for your program, your culture, the business aspects of the program, and your players. And it's hard to do that in 24 hours on an interview. It's hard to do that from a phone call. We've tried our best to prepare, all of us coaches, we've tried our best to prepare, our teach tapes, our cut-ups, and our football stuff, and being experts of the position that we're coaching and being experts of the position that we want to get to next. There are so many aspects of that really come to how can I show that, and how can I enhance my ability to show that publicly to people that want to hire me, that want me to be the best fit running backs coach of their program, that want me to be the best fit DBs coach. And this video tool gives coaches the ability to upload clinic talks, position meetings, chalk talks, indie drills, teach tapes, you coaching an indie drill. We're all trying to show people and show hiring coaches that we can coach and communicate and teach and build relationships. It's really hard to do that, like I said, in 8 hours when you're wearing a suit. Because that's the one time you're going to wear a suit and you're never going to wear a suit again, in these new jobs. So getting to the point where we can consistently help coaches show those type of things and really show their heart and show their passion for what they truly care about in coaching. And we're all the coaches that I've ever known are in it for the kids and in it for building young men, and when you get to other sports, building other people and young student athletes in that certain realm. And how can you show that? Well, it's video verification. It's indie teach tapes, clinic talks, chalk talks. Everything that we're trying to do is trying to give these guys a platform to show that they can really enhance somebody's program because of who they are and where their heart is.
So let's talk about maybe some things that are actionable for our listeners out there who either are actively looking or maybe not looking right now, but want to be prepared, want to get visible. What should they be doing right now, this time of the year, right? We're into the off season. Some places about to start spring ball. The hiring cycle's getting close to being over, though a few moves can send that carousel rolling again. Mm-hmm. But, let's talk first about the guy who's actively looking. What's something he should do right away on Coach Portal?
Number one, I would say is take advantage of our personalized services and our consulting. We do everything from resume prep, resume workshops, mock interviews. We always talk about the players being prepared for your one opportunity when the door opens. And the same thing happens for us as coaches. You want to be ready and prepared to deliver your message and your brand in any interview that you get. And it goes beyond just having your defensive back teach tapes ready or your O-line indie ready. It goes beyond all of that stuff. It goes beyond to the depths of delivering your message for booster club and fundraising. Those type of things are really the things that we try to prepare our clients with and our coaches that are on the platform that we consult is going through a 4-hour interview, answering the right questions, the tone, how you say it, how you deliver the message. What are you trying to get across here? What expertise are you trying to convey to them that can help them on the field, but also off the field? And how do you get your materials and all the materials that are included in that up to standard to where you can stand out and make a difference in an interview process?
So the coach who's on the other end, who's feeling secure in the position, happy with where they're at right now. Again, I think it comes down to, like you said, you never know what's going to happen, especially in our sports. So you do have to be prepared. What are some ways they can start to build their visibility? There's not that urgency of, I need a job right now, but it's just preparing yourself, building yourself, putting yourself out there. What are some things they could do right away?
I think when you get onto Coach Portal, you're going to see, obviously, building your profile, uploading your resume. Once you are found on Coach Portal and the process starts, say, in 9 months from now, everything from a head coaching manual, philosophy, an offensive coordinator manual, philosophy, how you recruit. That's a big thing, right? If you're at the college level, I mean, Division 1, Division 3 recruiting is completely different. And I was able to do both and experience both, and they're completely different worlds. At the high school level, being able to put yourself out and align yourself with the culture of the head coach and align yourself with how he wants to convey players to colleges, all of those things and how you build your culture and your brand. I think if you are, like you said, comfortable where you're at, this is maybe not the right time to transition to the next job. Lining up all of those things and being prepared is where you really want to be come, say, next November, when it's really time and you feel there's an urge and an itch to kind of keep the needle moving and get to the next spot, making sure that your resume, your teach tapes, all those things are done, making sure that you are prepared as best as possible to go into an interview and wow somebody with your heart, your brand, your passion for coaching.
I know in the short time I've been talking to you guys, I see things moving along, that you guys are really continuing to build the platform and capitalize on the different technologies out there, whether that's AI. Obviously, that's a big thing right now, moving along very quickly. But, what's next? Where is this going? What's the long-term vision for some of the things you guys are looking at doing?
Right now, we have a lot of really cool ideas to enhance the way that coaches improve their visibility, create opportunities. I think right now that's one of our biggest things, is making sure that we give all the coaches and listen to the coaches who are giving us feedback every single day, making sure that we are providing the best platform for them to be found, be exposed to a different market of people who they normally wouldn't be exposed to. In terms of AI features and matching type of things down the line, potentially, I think right now, our video upload feature is what we're working on currently, and our resume building, a resume template building. That's another feature that we're trying to get to. But right now, I think that we are trying to hone in on giving coaches every opportunity to be exposed, gain visibility, and get opportunities in the coaching market.
We think about our careers. We want to be in control as much as possible. As I said before, we don't always make those decisions. But for that coach listening who wants to take control of their career, what's the best piece of advice you could give them?
For me, and I was told this a long time ago, you always win with people. You want to be with great people. You want to be supported by people who have your back. I think that's what Coach Portal is. I think that's what we are. And we say it all the time, like Coach Portal was built by coaches for coaches. And we're trying to be the support system that the coaching market has needed. We're trying to be the support system that generally helps. We want to be organic in our support and our consulting and our personalized services, because we know that there's coaches out there who need jobs, want jobs, deserve jobs, and we're trying to provide that for them as best as possible.
And we'll put it in the show notes as well, but give our listeners direction on where they can go to get going on Coach Portal and the deals you have in place for them right now.
Yep. So our website is www.coach-portal.com. Right now, we are in an early bird 6-month free subscription model. Our monthly pricing after that 6 month is $2.99 per month. We want to try and keep that as cheap as possible and as cost effective as possible. We were all coaches. Coaches don't get paid enough for what they do and the support and the care they give to student athletes and the overall mission of the programs. So we want to keep that at that price point and even cheaper in the future. Our social medias are all on X and Instagram at the Coach Portal 1. If you're looking for us, you can find us at our email at admin@coach-portal.com, and we'll get back to you and we can help you in any way we can.
Aaron, I appreciate you taking the time and sharing what you guys are doing. Definitely something that's much needed out there, and I have an appreciation for it for sure. I'm excited about our partnership that we have together, and for our listeners, you will continue to hear from Coach Portal in the segment that we're going to have each and every week called The Next Move, where we will be sharing different elements of career building and career development. So appreciate what you guys are doing. Aaron, thank you for taking the time, and I look forward to being able to help our coaches with you guys as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Coaching Coordinator Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Before we go, a big thank you to our partners who help us bring you the best coaching insights every week. Modern Football Technology, Signature Championship Rings, Titan Sensors, the Headset app, Coach Portal, Go Route, and Vertical Raise. These companies are dedicated to helping coaches like you gain an edge on and off the field. You can find out more about our partners in the 10% Toolkit. The link is in the show notes.
If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your coaching network. Until next time, keep learning, keep leading, and keep making a difference.